What is it about a toy piano that attracts the attention of an accomplished classical pianist?
Through the years, musicians have tried to find innovative ways to express themselves by creating new sounds and revamping existing instruments. Tonight, people are flocking into the Stone to hear classically trained pianist Margaret Lang-Tang's musical interpretations through the toy piano.
It's whimsical, it's deceptively simple, but it's very sophisticated. And it's not easy to play well. In fact, you have to really practice it, you know, to make this little piece that was made for a toy instrument sound like a real piece.
Margaret began playing the piano at age 6 at home in Singapore, but received a scholarship to attend Juilliard at age 16, and quickly became the first female in the history of Juilliard to get a doctorate in piano performance.
When you're a classical pianist, you are being creative in a recreative kind of way, because you're playing other people's music and everybody brings to it their own interpretation, but nonetheless it's still basically something that's very defined and set in stone by these composers 200 years ago, Chopin, Beethoven, whoever, all these dead white men.
After graduating, Margaret learned of John Cage, a composer who was stretching the boundaries of the piano.
John Cage wrote a remarkable little piece called Suite for Toy Piano. That was the first ever serious piece of music written for the toy piano. And that really changed my life.
And after hearing that and meeting John, Margaret began to think very differently about music and its philosophy.
I realized that the interior of the piano was a whole universe of sound to be explored, that once you lift the lid of the grand piano, it's like opening up the oyster shell and there's a pearl inside, because the sound you can get from playing on the interior strings of the piano, it's extraordinary what the piano can be.
Lang-Tang fell in love with the toy piano but never owned one, and found them very hard to come by.
They were playing Casios and other, electronic instruments where you press buttons rather than press keys down, piano keys.
So she made it her mission to seek out toy pianos and was surprised to see where these precious instruments turned up.
You'd find them either in yard sales, garage sales, barn sales, garbage cans. But I found a gem of a toy piano that had 2 octaves that was just big enough to play John Cage's Suite for Toy Piano. And I bought it in the East Village for $45.
She performed her first toy piano concert in 1995 and came out with her first album 2 years later, The Art of the Toy Piano, which received national attention from CNN, Newsweek, NPR's All Things Considered, as well as the local New York TV networks. So with all the array of music that you play, a lot of it is unknown to most people. There's probably a call for you to play songs that people can relate to.
That's why my first toy piano album, The Art of the Toy Piano, they wanted me to record a Beatles song.
Can you play one for us?
Yeah, so I chose Eleanor Rigby.
But it's Margaret's true passion for the toy piano that has contributed to her longevity in this avant-garde art form that transcends above the notion that this is just a musical gimmick.
If it was a gimmick, it would have died within the first few months. It's an attempt to make real, beautiful music on a toy instrument.
Still, coming from a disciplined, classically trained background, imagine the shock when Lang-Tang shared her accomplishment with her family in Singapore.
My mum heard my toy album for the first time. She says, "For this, we sent you to Juilliard?"
Now Margaret is moving into the direction of being a toy instrumentalist, including multiple toy instruments in her performance.
It's multitasking, real multitasking. On a level that takes a tremendous amount of discipline and practice. If I'm playing toy piano, bicycle bell, bicycle horn, and train whistle all at the same time as an Eric Griswold's bicycle Lee Hooker, it takes a lot of practice, hours and hours of coordination and practice. Wore out 4 bicycle bells learning that piece.
It's a really interesting sound, and it definitely adds a lot to the different kinds of textures and timbres that you can get from, you know, various instruments.
She's a great performer. I mean, she does everything top notch. Just really all around great performer.